Welcome to the Longest Turn Board Gaming Podcast. This is Snapshot Episode 5. My name is Kevin.
Hello, this is Tyson.
This is Tyler.
In this Snapshot episode, we take a quick look at the game Inside Job. We'll give a short overview of the rules, theme, what we like about the game, and where you can find it. Is this game a good fit for your friends and family? Stick around to get our thoughts because we're ready to jump into Inside Job. So for those who haven't listened to these quick snapshot episodes, we take a quick look at a game that we really enjoy playing, and hopefully it gives listeners a good idea if it's a good fit for them. So to start off, we'll do a quick overview of the rules. Inside Job is designed by Tanner Simmons, with art done by Merrick Balaha and published by KOSMOS. Inside Job is a mostly cooperative trick-taking game where each player takes on the role of a secret agent. But while most agents are loyal, one double agent is working against the rest of you by engaging in espionage. Can you find out who among you is the insider? Complete your intelligence missions before the insider gathers too much intel. To start Inside Job, each player is secretly dealt a role card. There will be one insider and enough agents added for the player count. Each player is then dealt cards that represent 4 suits with cards numbered 1 through 13. Your objective depends on the role card that you are dealt. Agents are trying to complete a certain number of missions, and the insider is trying to collect insider tokens. If after the last trick nobody has completed their objective, there is a final vote to try and unmask the insider. The basic rules of the game follow normal trick-taking rules. The start player will play any card, and all players must follow suit if they can. If a player can't follow suit, any card can be played. The starting player plays a particular suit by playing one of their playing cards face up in the center of the table. The color of that card becomes the leading suit. Then, in clockwise order, the other players take turns playing cards face up in the middle of the table. Players must play cards of the same suit that was originally played by the starting player. This is called following suit. If a player cannot follow suit, they may play a card of any suit. After each person has played a card to the center of the table, the player who played the highest number in the leading suit wins the trick. There will also be a trump suit for each trick. The trump suit is identified on the mission card for the trick. More on that later. If you can't play the lead suit, the highest played trump suit will win the trick. Those are only the rules for the agents, though. If you are the insider, you can play any card that you want, regardless of the suit. Before each trick, the person starting the trick will take 2 mission cards and will select one for that trick. The text in the center of the mission card will determine how the mission will be won. For example, a mission card could say, the third card played must have a lower value than all other cards. The bottom of the mission card will state what the trump suit will be for the trick. The trick will then be played. The winner of the trick will take an intel token regardless of the outcome of the mission. If the mission was completed successfully, you check to see if the agents have won. If the insider has collected enough intel tokens, they reveal their role and they win. Otherwise, you keep playing. If nobody has won, when all the tricks have been played, the grand finale of the game is a vote. Each player holds up their hand, and on the count of 3, they point to the player they believe is the insider. The player with the most votes reveals their role. If the role revealed is the insider, the agents win. If the role revealed is not the insider wins. In the case of a tie, the insider will win. So that's it.
Thanks, Kevin, for those rules on Inside Job. Now, if you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time, it's no secret at all that I am a fan of social deduction games. And
what? No. Really?
I think we found a social deduction game that I'm not the only fan of in this group, which is amazing.
That's true. And if you've listened as well, you know that I'm not a fan of these social deduction type games, but you are correct. This one's fantastic. I love it.
I'm somewhere in the middle, but I gotta say, going into Gen Con, I think Kevin was excited about this one, as well as our other friends, Ben and Greg, and I was skeptical. I've played the crew. This is very similar to the crew. The crew obviously doesn't have the insider, but it does have the missions that you're trying to complete. And I was skeptical, but I was pleasantly surprised because this game is awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I think what I was drawn to was I'm a big fan of trick-taking games, right? So the fact that there was a trick-taking game that had this insider, somebody that was trying to sabotage, the missions, was just intriguing to me. So it was one of those social deduction games that I'm like, okay, I'm going to give this one a chance because it's trick-taking and it seemed to be right up my alley, and it was.
I don't think you're alone on that, though, Kevin, because I think that trick taking as a whole has become more popularized in the board game community at large. And there are a lot of different trick taking games out there. So it's interesting because there are so many that one can come out and do something that seems so kind of revolutionary in some ways, and adding the social deduction component to it in a way that feels like it fits so seamlessly and naturally that it surprises me something like this hasn't been done already.
Well, and that's what Tyler and I were talking about. Like the first time we played it at Gen Con, we're like, it's amazing that nobody's thought of this before because it is so seamless and it works so well in a trick-taking format, which is awesome.
Well, and I think some of my hesitation with social deduction games is you can sit down at the table, explain all the rules, and then if there's an insider or a traitor, that person might mess things up very quickly into the game, and sometimes the game's kind of ruined. And one of the things I love about Inside Job is you can reveal very early who you are and still come out on top. And you're still on the edge of your seat, whether you're an agent or the insider trying to eke out that win.
Well, and we had that experience with your son, Tyler. He was not, shall we say, the best at holding his poker face, and it was very apparent very quickly.
Yeah, he has zero poker face. So
Yeah, right. He has to cover his mouth the whole game because he's smiling if he's the insider.
yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of funny.
And it just happened that he was the insider in both games we played.
Right.
Which probably put a lot of pressure on him, but it was great because even though he didn't, he immediately revealed himself within like the first turn or two, and still it was this competitive uh, experience where you're going around trying to make these missions work. And one of the great things I think is there are multiple ways for the agents to be able to succeed. So even if the insider is able to prevent you from winning missions, there is another method by which you can still succeed at this game. They can outlive essentially the insider. And so that's not necessarily an easy task, though, even once you've identified who the insider is.
Yeah, and that's because usually by the end of the game, you know who the insider is, right? So if you're the agents, you're like you said, Tyson, you're just trying to outlast to get to that vote so that you can vote for the insider and win the game. But it can be tense on those last few missions. Are you going to allow the insider to get that last token, or are you going to push that final vote to see so you can out the insider and win the game as the agent? So that end game can be really exciting and really fun.
It's exciting for both sides, whether you are the agent or the insider.
Right.
It is really exciting.
And it has those moments in which, whether or not you're the agent or the insider, it has those kind of stand-up moments that are exciting. Like, I knew it was you. You were absolutely the insider. And that is exciting for me personally.
Or the last game we played, it was Tyler was the insider, and we were trying to figure out what cards we needed to play to win. And you played like 11, Tyson.
Yeah.
You needed to play the 12, and if you would have played that, we would have won. But came down to one card and 1 point, on that card, or one number on that card to get Tyler the win.
Well, the thing with that one was specifically to win the mission, I had to play an odd card, and I had an 11 that I could play. But I knew the 12 was a better card to play because it was higher value, so it would allow us to win the trick and prevent Tyler from getting enough of those intel tokens to be able to collect 4. But I thought, we're sitting pretty good. I have an 11 and a 12 of the Trump suit. He shouldn't be able to beat that. But he ended up playing one of his intel tokens on his card, which was an 11, which, even though it was of a different suit, by playing the intel token, it made it the Trump suit. And therefore, since he was the last one to have played in the round, he took the trick, even though we were tied, which was very climactic, I thought.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm still denying that I was the insider.
Yeah. To your deathbed, you will deny.
Yeah,
but hey, you won.
You were definitely better at concealing your nature than your son, but it was still pretty apparent that you were the insider.
At a certain point, it's just too good of an opportunity to pass up. And like many good social deduction games, there's that tipping point where it's like, okay, I'm going for it. I'm revealing myself. Let's do this.
Now's the time. Yeah.
Yeah, another thing that I just love about this game is once you're familiar with the basic rules of being an insider and an agent, you can throw in more advanced role cards, right? And it completely switches up the game. And we played with a handful of these. I think there's probably 7 or 8 that we still haven't played with yet. But it just makes the game so much fun. And like I said, it switches it up completely. One of the role cards, instead of being the standard insider, you can be. It's called Professor No, and you're trying to reveal everybody else by giving them intel tokens, and you don't want to reveal yourself. So it takes the basic rules of the game, switches it completely around, and makes you play the game in a different way, which I thought was just super fun. And there's all kinds of other different roles that do that as well.
Well, and you can have more than one role in. Now, it's probably not recommended to play more than 2 roles in a game, but the fact that you can have 1 or 2 roles in a game and the way that those roles work off of each other is really fascinating to me, because it's going to not only do the roles in and of themselves create a different experience, like you're saying, Kevin, but on top of that, the way they interact with each other creates even more layers of experience that are even more interesting and create unique situations that you've never seen in the game.
An example of that, we had Tyson. What was your agent when you?
The risky agent.
So the risky agent, if they win 4 tokens or the number required for the player count, they reveal and all the agents win. In the same game, I was the sleeper agent, where if I revealed myself and the insider won, I won. So I would reveal myself if I won too many intel tokens, and then I would be tied to the insider. Well, it was apparent that Logan, as the insider, was not going to win. So I got right up to the threshold. And if I didn't reveal myself, I would win with the agents. And how one of the last tricks played out, I was forced to win the trick and thereby revealing myself. And now I'm the revealed sleeper agent tied to the insider, and I lost. And we all knew that it was Logan that was the insider. We had the game in the bag, and it ended up that just Kevin and Tyson won because I was forced to reveal. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was absolutely hilarious. And I think all of those types of experience this game brings really creates a unique way to play a trick-taking game. I think that if you like any kind of trick-taking game at all, whether it's The Crew, whether it's Hearts or Spades or any trick-taking game, Dr. Jekyll versus Hyde, etc., this game is going to be right up your alley for that. But not only that, if you like social deduction games at all, if you like The Resistance, if you like Salem 1692, if you like any social deduction at all, this is also going to give you those feelings. And I think it approaches it in a way that it's going to bring it to the table for more accessibility across larger audiences. I ended up going and getting a copy of this after we played Kevin's copy, because I think that this is one that my family, even though they're not extensive gamers, are going to enjoy this process, and I can add layers of complexity to it because of adding those roles that we were just talking about, or because I can take it out and make it a little bit more simple, and it's familiar because a lot of people are familiar to some extent with trick taking, and I think that makes this a sweet spot in a game.
Yeah, it really is the perfect mashup between trick taking and social deduction. So, like Tyson mentioned, if you like any of those, if you like both of those genres of games, I think this is really a no-brainer to pick up.
We came home with some gems from Gen Con, but this one is already, I think, the top prize because we've already got so many plays out of it. It's just a fantastic game. I look forward to playing this every game night that it is on the table.
And you can pick it up. I mean, it's readily available. Amazon, it's $20. I found it on Game Nerds for just under 15. Yeah, so it's not an expensive game at all, and it looks like it is available. So if it sounds interesting to you, you can definitely pick it up.
I think that says it all for Inside Job. There's more that we could probably go into, but I think that if any of this at all sounds intriguing to you, this is worth checking out because it is a fantastic game that I think, like you said, Tyler, is kind of the gem of the Gen Con games that we've played thus far. And I'm really glad that we finally found a social deduction game that our group collectively enjoys.
So that closes out our snapshot of Inside Job. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our full-length episodes. We discuss games that we've been playing, do deep dives and feature reviews, share top 5 lists on a variety of board game topics, and discuss all things board game related. For even more Longest Turn, check out our Discord server, Board Game Geek blog and guild, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to support the show, buy us some wooden eggs on buymeacoffee.com. All links and information are included in the show notes. Thanks for listening. So to start off, we'll jump into the rules, and I am not transitioning to myself, I guess.